Hello there and welcome to today's United Kingdom talk on Thursday. It's Thursday for me and today is the United Kingdom general election. How exciting! Who is going to win? Very, very interesting election this year, and for the first time, certainly since I've been alive, the Liberal Democrats look like they've actually done quite well. I think they're going to have more seats than they've ever had. Anyway, I shall be off to to go down to the school later. There's a school near me where I do my election voting. Got my little card downstairs and I shall be going along there to cast my vote, boys and girls. But I have a feeling it will be Mr. David Cameron, who is our next Prime Minister. Perhaps by the time you've watched this, I don't know, the election may be up and done with. I'm interested, actually. If you're in other parts of the world, wherever you are, can you actually... excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold today. Can you actually watch the British election on your television or computer where you live? And indeed, do you do so? Just a matter of interest. I wonder if what's going on here in the UK today is of any interest to anyone else in the world, and whether or not you can watch it or not. Do let us know where you are, and indeed if you're watching that today, okay? My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Not only do I have my coal, I've got my toilet roll standing by here, bits of paper. Oh dear, dear me. This came on this morning, and actually I haven't been up long, to be honest, today, and as I've sat here, because I haven't said anything, the first words I uttered today were... No, that's a lie, actually. I have said good morning to my cat, Katie. Oh yes, I talk to my pet. Of course, don't you? Has anyone got goldfish or tropical fish? Do you talk to fish? Do you say, good morning, boys? Ronnie does. Oh, yeah, my best mate Ronnie does. He's got tropical fish in a little bowl, and he talks to them. He said, they're my boys. How does he know they're boys? I had a good look. I couldn't tell, dear. Can you tell with fish? Eh? Or are they, are fish men and women? There's some animals that are men and women, aren't there? I can't remember what the word is for that. Anyway, so I had a quick hello to Katie, and I didn't notice anything wrong then. But as I've sat here now and started the show, I've realised I can't hear properly either. Clearly, there is something building up in my ear holes. I can't hear what I'm saying. Can you hear me all right? Hello? Oh, dear, dear me. So a bit of a cold, never mind, it'll be a few days and then it'll be gone. I wonder if it was anything to do with me going out on my bike yesterday. I went out on my bike yesterday over the forest. Now, there is a forest about 3 minutes cycle from my house. A 10-minute cycle from my house. You can be in the middle of the forest, away from everyone and roads and everything like that. It's a beautiful place. And I popped over there yesterday and I got a new licence, because we have to have a licence to go over into the forest. You're supposed to have a cycle licence, which isn't very expensive. It's about £20 for the whole year. I'm not quite sure what they do with the £20, but there you are. That's what it costs, because it's not like it is a crown estate kind of owned by the Queen. Oh yes, and she needs every penny she can get. She does, dear. I can't stand these people that say, oh, the royal family got too much. The Queen needs more money, dear. I would willingly sell my houses and all their contents to assist Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. I do wish she'd come round here and have a little bit of a chat with me on the United Kingdom talk sofa at some point. I really do. I'm sorry I'm making all these noises today. I'm just about bearing up to carry on the programme. So I went and bought my licence, and I went over there. And the thing is with the forest, it's very, very hilly. And they're not like tarmacked paths. It's just forest floor. You know, some parts of it, they put a few stones over it. You know, the sort of thing. And it's wonderful. And it's really hard going sometimes because it's very, very hilly. It's like up 1 minute you're hurtling down this hill at 200 mile an hour, and then suddenly you've got to get back up the other side. And there was one particular hill, I hate to admit this to you boys and girls, but I just wasn't fit enough to get up with it. Just this hill was going on and on and on. And in the end, I had to get off my bike halfway up it and walk and push it up, dear. Cool, that was hard work. And I got off there, came back here about an hour later, and I thought, do you know what? I think I've done more work cycling up that hill than I ever do in the swimming pool. I get out of the swimming pool, I do 40 lengths, and I'm done. Yeah, I get out, go into the shower, and I'm not like, I don't get out of the pool and I'm like, no, not at all. 40 lengths, then I calmly get out and like as if I'd done nothing, to be honest. But after I go on that bicycle, going up and down those hills in the forest, oh dear, dear me. And that got me to thinking, while I was at work last night, I logged on to the internet and I typed in cycling for health or something like that. And apparently it's a really good thing to do. And I remember now, all through my life, since I was about 7 years old, I have had a bicycle. Now, I'm not on it all the time. I really just use it just to go down to the shops or down to the swimming pool, and that's about it. I don't really go out on cycling trips or anything like that, you know, for sort of an hour at a time. It's usually 20 minutes on the bike there, 20 minutes back. That's how I do it. But when I was younger, I would be on the bike for a long time. I used to cycle to work when I lived in Roehampton with my mum and dad, and I cycled to work in Wimbledon, which was a good half hour, 35, 40 minutes there and 40 minutes back. And I was never overweight or anything then. And I looked it up in a book, and apparently you can burn like 650 calories in an hour through cycling, not at a particularly fast pace, but, you know, a reasonable pace. And I think, do you know what I think? And I like cycling. I don't like gym. Hate it. Bores me to tears. Can't do the jogging because it done my knees in. Okay, they're fine now. Nothing wrong with them now. But I know if I go jogging again, it will damage my knees. So we can't do that. But cycling, yes. So I'm going to take that up a little bit more, I think. I'm going to try and go for a little bit of a bike ride each and every day, as from now. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I'll see if I can try and fit that in my day. And that's all well and good, isn't it? Now, do I need a cycling helmet? Again, I looked on the internet about cycling helmets. Are these good? Apparently, they've got to fit fairly tightly. But also it says in the summer they can get quite hot, even though they've got all these holes in that. So I don't know if I want one of those or not. It also says that you've kind of got to fall the right way for a cycling helmet to protect your head. And then I thought, well, surely something's better than nothing. So I might go down to the bike shop this afternoon, actually, and see and just try on a couple of cycling helmets and see what they're like. Because I do notice more and more people in the UK are actually wearing these things. It's not a thing here in the UK that you have to wear a cycling helmet. There's no law for that. I know it is in Australia. In Australia, you have to wear a cycling helmet if you're on a bike. Here in the UK, you can or you can't. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. So I think I might have a look at one of those later, especially as I intend to go over the forest. Now I bought the little licence. I intend to go over the forest a lot more than I used to do. And there, I mean, you can see coming down some of those hills at very fast speeds. If you come off, you could do damage on that. Definitely. Absolutely, you could do damage to yourself on that. So I might just get one and see how that goes. They're not particularly expensive, I don't think. Any other cyclists out there? Hey, do let us know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Have you ever been camping on a bicycle? Ever been camping? Me and my friend Peter Watts was his name. I'm going back now to my pre-teen days. before I was a teenager, and indeed when I was a teenager, me and my friend Peter Watts, he had a bike as well, and we'd go all over the place on our bikes. And we'd set up, as young lads, we used to, or not even lads, as young boys, we used to set up camps, you know, in the middle of forests and things like that. You'd have, I don't know, a bit of fishing wire going around, thinking that would keep someone out of your little area. Used to go out on a Sunday, say 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go, see you later, Mum, and I'd go out, I'd go to his house, and he'd say goodbye to his mum, and then we'd go out on our bikes all day, and we'd have food in the bags, and bottles of orange juice, and this, that, and the other. Oh, it's wonderful. I always remember the first time I got a bag for the back of my bike, and I had all my sandwiches in there, and I think I had a spare jumper or something that Mum had made me put in the back of the bike. And, of course, the big bottle of orange juice. I put it in the back of the bike. And we used to cycle along this road in southwest London called the A3. Now I'm older, and I look at that road, and it's a busy old road. The speed limit on the part of the road that we went on was 70 miles an hour. It wasn't a motorway, so we were allowed on this road. And when I think of how dangerous that actually was for us, I mean, it makes me shudder to think that we ever went on this road. It was so fast and dangerous. It really was. I mean, there were no... Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to blow this out of all proportion. There were no near misses or anything like that. Fortunately, none of us had an accident. But, I mean, there's no way now that I would cycle on that road. It's just too busy. Even now, they've brought down the limit from 70 to 50 miles an hour a number of years ago. But I would still not go on that road. It's busy and it's very, very fast. We used to get on that road like that. Anyway, so we're cycling down this road, and we went to... one of the places we used to go to was like it was like a football field, okay? And there was this, like, dilapidated hut. I don't know what the hut was used for. Possibly no, it wouldn't be an old changing room. It was almost like a large bus shelter, but it was on the side of the football pitch. And we used to go down there, and there was never anyone in there. And that was our little place on a Sunday. Yeah. And we used to park our bikes. We used to bring our bikes into this little hut. And one of the first things we'd do, probably at 11 o'clock in the morning, far too early, is eat our crisps and sandwiches and our drink. And so the very first time I got this bag for the back of my bike, I got there and I opened the bag, and there it was. Sandwiches, crisps, and a top soaked in the bottle of orange juice in my brand new bike bag, dear. Oh, and I was so upset. Oh no, Peter, look at this. And it was all soaked, and this was brand new, this bike bag. I don't know what it was made of, but it had got very wet, and it already looked like it was falling apart. It was only a plastic thing. How disappointing is that, eh? And even more disappointing, no sandwiches and orange juice. I think we must have gone home that early to get to get new supplies. Eh? We just used to go around on our bikes. What a wonderful way to travel around, though, isn't it, eh? Have you got a bike? What's the longest bike journey you ever did? Do let us know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Another place that we used to go was, we did this journey twice, I think, a place called Oxshott, which is like an area of outstanding natural beauty. It's wonderful down there. All grass and lots of trees and things like that. And it was a fair old slog. It was a good... I suppose it must have been a 2-hour cycle for us. And I used to do these long trips. And I think it's something I'd like to do again. I'd like to get back into the old cycling. There's a great deal of pleasure that can be had by that. They do some cycling maps here in the UK. I just wish I had someone to go with now, you know? There's no one round here, I suppose. I mean, the neighbour, my dear neighbour, David... and his girlfriend, Karen. Now, they've got bicycles, and sometimes I do see Karen, and she jumps up on her bike, and she goes over the forest as well. I saw her little licenses around there as well. The license is like it's not a piece of paper, it's like a bit of plastic. And it's got printed on there the date when the license runs out, and it kind of goes around your cycle bars, and then off you go. But, you know, and sometimes I'm like, oh, shall I ask her if I can come with her? But I don't, you know. I don't. Mind you, of course, going out with someone else, it means that either they or you have to keep up with the fastest one, doesn't it? So maybe, I don't know. But it would be nice to have sort of a friend to go around with on bike trips and things like that. Right, anyway, time for some emails and news, boys and girls, of a new podcast that you might like to try. A new podcast. Hi, Chris. This is from Millie in Minnesota. 2 emails from Millie, actually. She says, just we're finished watching your show for April the 22nd, and there were a couple of things I wanted to comment on. Nothing new there, right? No, not at all, Millie. You comment as much as you want, darling. You see, you don't comment much anymore on the emails, do you? It's always a quick Skype message or a phone call. We like the emails, dear. She says, on the subject of... We're still doing chivalry. Oh, this one's gone on and on, hasn't it? I'm one who does acknowledge when a door is opened for me or something of that nature. And I do agree it costs nothing to say thank you. However... in my personal opinion, one shouldn't stop holding doors for people simply because they don't say thank you. I would continue doing it, not simply because it's polite, but because I feel that not to continue to be chivalrous lowers one to the same level as those who are not polite. Yeah, I see what you mean there. In other words, I would continue to hold doors, etc., because the old expression, kill 'em with kindness. Wouldn't that be good, wouldn't it? If you could push a button, like push the button, and kindness would fire out of some sort of device at people. Oh, I like the sound of that. I think my sister's a bit like that. She fires you with... She does, my sister. Oh, yeah. On the last visit there, she does so much, my sister, to try and make people feel comfortable, especially me. And you remember the last time? Perhaps I shouldn't be sharing this. Oh, I'll tell you. Remember the last time I was at my sister's just a few weeks ago, and I said to you once again, unfortunately, I had to come back about half a day early because I just can't sleep at her house anymore. The asthma is so bad there. And next time I've decided there's a hotel fairly nearby, and I'm going to sleep in the hotel. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to stay in the hotel all day. All I'm going to do is when I finish at my sister's house, probably about 11 o'clock at night, I'll walk over to the hotel because it's not far, and then I'll go to sleep in there. That's what I'm going to do. And on the way back, I actually felt really bad about this. On the way back from my sister's last time, I got this text message thing while I was driving home. And I don't read text messages while I'm driving home because it's just so dangerous. So you're all over the road. I mean, you do it yourself. Sometimes, when you're driving along, have you ever driven along in your car and for whatever reason, you've got to look down or look over or something, perhaps change the station on the radio, and then you look up again and go, oh my God, look how far I've travelled. Do you see what I mean? And for a text message, it's going to be, you're looking at your text thing, and you just don't realise how far you're travelling. So I never look at the texts on the way back. And people make me laugh, so why did it take you so long to answer the text? Because I'm blooming driving, dear. I'm not answering texts while I drive. And this text said, I'm really sad now that you've gone and you can't sleep at my house. And I felt so bad, but, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. They keep going on at me to take these, my sister, no, not actually her husband, to take these antihistamine tablets. But in all honesty, I did try that once. a couple of years ago. It was before I started taking these tablets that I have to take every day, and it didn't do anything for. Didn't clear it up at all. Did nothing for me at all. You know. So I don't think it's anything to do with that, really. But now, of course, I worry, because I do take tablets in the morning, and I worry that if I take something else, it will react with what I'm already taking. Because that's actually a good way to die, that is. Well, I say a good way to die. No way is a good way to die, I suppose. But it's a reasonably... it happens often, right? That people are taking tablets for something, and then they take tablets for something, and the tablets react with each other, sometimes in a terrible, disastrous way. People have died through that, you know, taking tablets on top of tablets, and they don't realise the interaction of it. So I was very, very sad about that text that I received, and she was upset the fact that I couldn't stay there or sleep there anyway. But that's what I'll do next time. Right, so thank you for that, Millie. Yes, kill 'em with kindness. We like this. Kill 'em with kindness. More news on Millie. Don't go away. I've got some good news. Right? Millie also writes, my mother has now gone to Russia on a holiday. Oh, yes. Will she be purchasing any of those Russian dolls? Aren't they good? They're little dolls. Big doll. Smaller dolls, and they're all inside each other, aren't they? She is in Russia and now on board a cruise ship. Oh my God, she put some weight on there, dear. Cruise ships are terrible for putting weight on. But shock horror, somewhere between New York and Moscow, her luggage was lost. Oh no. You know, Millie, that's something, touch wood, that's never happened to me. I've never lost luggage, but I can't. It's dreadful, and it's dreadful. And you know, sometimes in my luggage, in my normal luggage, I've put cameras and things like that in there. You know, so I don't have to carry them around, or even a laptop. I've even put a laptop in my luggage, in my main luggage that goes in the hold. And I've taken the risk so many times, but it must be terrible to lose your luggage. Has anyone else lost their luggage before? Where were they going, and what did you do? Let us know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. My sister is now working with Delta Airlines to locate the lost luggage, and hopefully my mother will have it soon. Well, yeah, I gather it usually turns up somewhere. They kind of send it to the wrong country. I mean, how do you make that mistake, though? You know, all these bags are labelled. How does something that's supposed to perhaps go to Russia end up in London? How does that happen? There was also another hiccup. Hiccup. With the... Can you do that? Do the hiccup noise. Go on. I hate that, don't you? Hiccups. I don't get them very much. There was a bloke on the telly the other day I was watching, and he's got hiccups for life. They can't get rid of his hiccups. And he's had operations and all sorts going on. It's just, oh, it's awful, isn't it? She says there was another hiccup with the international mobile phone she had because it also didn't work. Let's hope the rest of the trip goes better. Why do you want to take a phone with you on holiday, dear? You don't need to be... No, you don't. All these people on their mobile blooming phones all the time. You want to see them in the nightclubs trying to have a conversation on the telephone while I'm playing my music. It's a joke, it is. Oh, I might have an important call. What can be important? Don't leave the house then. They do make me laugh, people. In restaurants, you see them in restaurants, the phone's ringing all the time. I'm glad you're cutting back on work a little bit. You've been doing too much. I know I say it all the time, but it's true. I'll shut up now about it. Good, I'm glad you'll shut up now about it, Millie, because I don't want to hear it, dear. Okay? Don't want to hear it, your comments about whether I'm working too hard or not. You're not my mother, dear, are you? And I had enough of that from her for years and years. Of course, she was right. I do too much, but that's me, you know. I agree with what you said to Ashley about all of us being the same. Yes, we're all on the same level, except for me. okay? I am much further down the scale than anyone else. I live in the gutter, and that's where I'm happy, to be honest, Millie. Oh, dear. You know what I mean? She says, unfortunately, as I know only too well, society as a whole doesn't share our opinion. In fact, I find it sad that parents teach their children that what's important is what's inside a person, but kids lose that as they get older. Yeah, I suppose so. It's like the subject of selfishness that we were talking about on the last show, really, isn't it? Before I close this, and here's the news, boys and girls. Here's the news you've been waiting for, only on this channel. I just wanted to let listeners and viewers know that I've finally taken your advice and started a podcast called Millie's World. Yes, Millie's World is the new podcast from Motorised Millie. To listen, please go to, are you ready? Pens ready, boys and girls, pens ready. Actually, I wrote down, where is it? You want to go to www.podbean.com and type in Millie, M-I-L-L-I-E, 620 in the search area. Okay? Once again, to listen to Motorised Millie's podcast, known as Millie's World, go to www.podbean.com and type in Millie, M-I-L-L-I-E, 620, all one word, in the search area. All lowercase letters and then numbers. This will take you straight to my podcast page. And she also says, tell Katie the cat to stop attacking you. That's not nice. Oh, cats, though, they do, don't they? They attack suddenly. You never know when it's going to happen. That's why they always win, dear. Cats. We love them. Where would we be without our pussies? Eh? We need more pussies. We do, dear. Maybe I should move a few more in here. Did I tell you about that cat that kept following me around up at my sister's house? Yeah, I wanted to take him home. And he had exactly the same markings as my cat, but I don't think they wouldn't have got on, would they? You know, when you've got a cat in for so long. So there we are. Now, there is also, I located a direct link to Millie's webpage. That's the easy version. The direct link is a little bit more to remember, but I'll give it to you anyway. The direct link to Millie's pod page is http://Millie620.podbean.com. All right? http://Millie620.podbean.com. There we are. And then you can hear Millie's brand new podcast, and she is now an internet celebrity, boys and girls. And that's not all. That's not all. Suko, the great Suko from New York, is also now considering doing an hour's radio show on our little live thing that we do throughout the week. A slightly different address for that one, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. There's a few of us on there now. There's myself, there's Lee Mills, there's Tom Harris as well, and there's Paul Edwards, and Ross Patzell does a show every couple of weeks. All right, that's a new thing that some of us are trying. We've been there a few months now, and we are looking for other people to host talk shows. Perhaps you could do it. You could do it yourself. Have a little look what we're doing on there, okay? Once again, the address for that is www.unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. All right? One more email. I've got a couple of emails that I'm going to have to hold over to the next show. One here from Ashley and one for Vicky. They're quite long emails, so I'll hold on to those for the next show, you two, my darlings, all right? Chris, good morning, Chris from ABC. So Chris used to be in a drag group of drag queens called ABC. Why didn't you ever do the Jacksons ABC as an opening number? That's just come into my head now. Just a suggestion. A bit late now, I know. 20 years late with that suggestion, aren't I? Chris, you were talking about trans fats. Is that a fat tranny? No, dear. No, we're not talking about various people who we worked with. Being serious, one way to avoid these fats is to bake the cakes yourself. Just thought I'd add my piece. You add as much as you want, Chrissy, baby. Why does the video turn off when I want to send you a message? Oh, I don't know. No idea. Okay, I'm going to get back to watching you. Thank you very much for Chris. Nice to hear from you, Chris. Keep joining in, dear. It's wonderful to have the old school all together. Time to go. Run out of time very quickly now. See you on the next show. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk is my email address. Bye-bye now.